JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones. Hi guys. Before we go into the news, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the news with someone today. Now on to the news. Mother gunned down in front of child. A woman was gunned down in close proximity to her child along Woodland Road in Hanover late Tuesday. Reports that residents heard an explosion, following which the body of the woman was observed on the ground next to a crying child. The woman has since been identified as 30-year-old Brittany Gibbs of Woodland District. PMOL Primary suspends classes after a watchman found murdered. Classes at PMOL Primary in St. Andrew were suspended Wednesday after students stumbled upon the lifeless body of the night watchman on the compound. The deceased has been identified as 62-year-old Owen Mardner, otherwise called Chris, of a Walton Park Road address. Mardner's body had bullet wounds. Superintendent Damian Manderson, head of the St. Andrew South Police Division, said residents heard explosions in the area about 10:30 Tuesday night, but did not alert the police.
Nobody apparently raised any alarm after hearing the explosions, but students upon coming to school this morning at minutes to 7 stumbled upon the lifeless body. Alarm was made and we came onto the scene. We're still trying to piece things together. This situation is much uncertain as to exactly what is or what could have led to this. From all indications, he would have been surprised and shot several times. We are still here, providing answers. I know school has been dismissed, but my community safety and security team is here, led by our territorial officer, Ms. Walters, providing some counseling, providing some support for the staff. We're still here. Much of the teachers are still here, and we'll be galvanizing some support from our CBCs, from Restorative Justice, and our other partners to come in here tomorrow, because I know the children, of course, would have been emotionally disturbed by this situation.
Launch of police initiative in Montega Bay marred by murder of man. This morning's official rollout of the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Beat Officer Patrol Division in St. James was marked by the fatal shooting of a man in downtown Montega Bay. Armed thugs murdered the unidentified man at the corner of Union and King Streets, which is a short distance away from Sam Shop Square. The shooting happened around 10 o'clock. The man was shot multiple times in his head and chest. Prior to the shooting, there was a strong police presence, especially in the vicinity of Sam Shop Square, as Superintendent Gary McKenzie, head of the JSCF's Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, and other top officers got the initiative, which is designed to create a proactive shield for residents and visitors doing business in Montega Bay on the way. 17-year-old boy charged with murder of schoolmate in Manchester. A 17-year-old boy has been charged with murder and wounded with intent following the stabbing death of 20-year-old Catholic College of Mandeville student Akilah White on Monday. The Mandeville police say about 11:50 a.m. an argument developed between White and another student while they were in a classroom at the school. The 17-year-old boy reportedly left the area and returned with a knife, which he allegedly used to inflict wounds to White's upper body and the shoulder and the male student's back. White and the injured boy were taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead, and the other student received treatment. The accused, who was held shortly after the incident and handed over to the police, was charged later the same day. He was taken to the Mandeville Parish Court and was remanded until June 4. Classes suspended at Sydney Pagan STEM Academy. Classes were suspended at Sydney Pagan STEM Academy in St. Elizabeth this morning, and the students sent home after a female teacher had what is suspected to be a mental health breakdown. In a video circulating on social media platforms, the teacher is seen killing a chicken and praying on the school's compound. Though stating that he was unaware of the video being circulated, the school's principal, Milbert Miller, said that the school made a decision to send the students home because of a situation on the compound. We have treated it amicable, and so in our judgment would have been the proper thing to do to have the students out of the space, he said. However, he did not divulge the details of the situation. Miller, however, noted that students sitting Caribbean Examination Council exams were not affected. Authorities working towards prosecution of traffic violations caught on camera. A system to organize information collected using traffic enforcement camera is currently being developed. Head of the Public Safety and the Traffic Enforcement Branch, PSTEB, of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, Assistant Commissioner of Police Gary McKenzie, has disclosed this configuration of data, McKenzie said, will make it more efficient for the police to prosecute motorists who breach traffic laws. There are a number of cameras that are actually capturing information. However, there are a number of things that need to be done, he said. You need a proper back office in terms of the information captured, how it is collated, and how it is sent to persons notifying them about an offense, and when they should pay for it, and all that sort of a thing. All of this needs to be properly streamlined, which is what is being done at the moment. 5 years ago, then Transport Minister Robert Montague announced the installation of more than 700 traffic enforcement cameras used to capture vehicle movement and record routine traffic violations across the island. The devices have license plate reading technology and the sanction owners or drivers of motor vehicles for traffic infractions in accordance with the Road Traffic Act and regulations. Further, the installation of traffic enforcement cameras was to help in the execution of the enforcement and legislation components of the National Road Safety Policy. However, Dr. Lucian Jones, Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, said the cameras are being used for surveillance but not for enforcing the law. So, they can pick up drivers going 100 miles an hour, but in terms of enforcing the law, they are not being used for enforcement as yet, he said, sharing that Jamaica has recorded 155 road fatalities since the start of the year. Jones said the use of road traffic enforcement cameras in other jurisdictions has been very effective in curtailing traffic violations. In order for you to go one step further, you have to have a legal enforcement, either by passing the law or some instruction from the Minister of National Security, which allows you to use what you have on the cameras in a court of law, he said. However, pointing to Section 241 of the Road Traffic Act regulations, which details how offences captured using electronic enforcement devices should be prosecuted, Mackenzie emphasized that the apparatus to ensure that it works is being tidied up. He noted too that, although the infrastructure is in place, it will also need to be expanded as we go along. Describing the impact of traffic enforcement cameras and road safety as far-reaching, Mackenzie said its coordination is being addressed with urgency. He added that it will go a long way in assisting the police to work more efficiently and the road safer. Where we have cameras at the intersection and persons are caught and they are convicted, persons' licenses may be suspended, and that will of course aid issues on the road to ensure that it is safer, because persons will realize that if they do not drive properly, then this is what will happen, he said. Omar Bal found guilty of murdering wife and a taxi operator. Omar Bal has been found guilty of 2 counts of murder and conspiracy to murder in the killing of his wife, Simone Campbell-Collymore, and the taxi operator Winston Walters. The jury began deliberations early Wednesday. The verdict came back sometime after 1 p.m. His co-accused Michael Adams and Dwayne Pink also received guilty verdicts for murder on both accounts and conspiracy to murder. The third co-accused, Shaquilla Edwards, was found not guilty of murder on both accounts, but received a guilty verdict for conspiracy to murder. Campbell-Collymore and Walters were shot dead on January 2, 2018, by 2 gunmen outside the gates of the Forest Ridge apartment complex in Red Hills, St. Andrew, where Campbell-Collymore lived with her husband Omar. They were shot by 2 men who traveled on motorcycles. It is alleged that Collymore contracted Adams to have Campbell-Collymore murdered so he could claim life insurance benefits from policies that belonged to his wife worth $100 million. They are to be sentenced on July 11, 2024. Murders down 24% for November 2023 to April 2024 period, says Chang. Jamaica's recorded a significant 24% decline in murders over the 6 months between November 2023 and April 2024 when compared with the preceding 6-month period. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang, who pointed to the decline during his contribution to the sectoral debate on Tuesday, said the slow but steady decline in severe violence comes on the heels of the Jamaica Constabulary Force being brought up to almost full establishment numbers.
Major crimes have been in a consistent decline over the last 8 years. What I want to note, in major crime records, the lowest level in 25 in 2023, the year we just completed. But I know that the critical element is still a focus on homicides. And correct so, every life lost is a trauma to the entire society. Although it is of interest to note that via surveys, including our own survey, which we do, and the LAPOP survey says that Jamaica has one of the lowest crime victimization rate and of the highest homicide rate, because the killing is among gangsters. They, of course, don't give us any reason to relax. But it is worth noting, Mr. Speaker, as of November last year when we brought the force to out, I want to note this. to my members, especially this side. As of November 2023, we approached for the first time full establishment in the force. And we're able to bring in some additional vehicles, taking just to a point where we think they could be functionally effective. We find that in the 6-month period preceding November 23, since then, from November 23 to April 24, we have about a 24% fall in homicide rate. Now, I want to emphasize that, Mr. Speaker, because there's always ongoing dispute on the other side, and it's their right to privilege and right. And in a democracy, good debate is important in maintaining public trust in the system. But we have always maintained that, well, let me say a few more. Gang wars have been significantly reduced. We have today have 2024, at the beginning, there was 244 active gangs. So far this year, we have only identified 106 active gangs. We have seen 27 convictions in some 5 gang trials, including our famous Klansman trial. Right? No problem. In a democracy, we expect any government in power to take some steps, but we execute it. We build the force.
JBN will keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.